Awesome. Hello, my name is Katie. Welcome to Skeptical Yarn. So in my last video, my YouTube comeback, my revival, my rebrand, okay? I did a yarn video. I did a yarn haul. If you haven't watched that, you should go watch that, especially if you're into yarn, crochet, knitting, all that stuff. But I did mention that I wanted to do some more book content as well, because that's what I used to make back in 2021, maybe 2020 as well. So yeah, we're back. I want to keep my videos very casual still. I want my channel to be a place where I can just upload things that I want to upload, you know, like have fun filming, have fun making videos, all that stuff. Same thing with my other accounts, my Instagram and all that. I just really want to show off my work, you know, when it comes to my yarn and crochet stuff and knit stuff, and I want to talk about books. So those are the two things that I love the most. So that's what we're gonna do. If you're still here, welcome and thank you for staying, and I'm very happy that you want to see me talk about my top books of the year. So I use Goodreads to log my books, and I also use the CawPile system created by G at Book Roast. I will link her down below if you want to check out her system, because I love it. It's just a Google Sheets that you can use, and you can customize it however you want to customize it. It has nice colors. She redoes it every year, all that stuff. So I use that to basically log all the details of my books, and also calculate the star rating based on the CawPile rating system. I find that that method works best for me because I don't feel very secure just rating books off of like vibes, even though that's what I used to do when before I had CawPile. But now, like with CawPile, I just feel like it's so much more thorough, and it is harder to have a 1-star book or a 5-star book, which I really like a lot better, because that means that, like, oh, if I really liked a book, I'm not just giving it 5 stars like for nothing, you know, like it has to earn that title. So these 5 books that I'm about to talk about have definitely earned that title, and have been calculated to a score of 5 stars. So I'm gonna be talking about the books ranked from best to bestest, okay? So we're gonna start with the book that is still 5 stars, but was the lowest on the list. And I only have 5 books here, so it wasn't too hard to rank them. It was a little complicated, just a little bit, but it worked out. It's fine. But we're gonna start with the first one, which, as I said, was the best, but not the bestest, okay? This is number 1. So number 1 on my list is The Radium Girls by Kate Moore. So this book, I actually listened to the audiobook version, and I absolutely devoured it. Like, it's a nonfiction book, and I'll explain what it's about in a minute, but I could not put this book down. Like, I kept finding things to do while I listened to the audiobook just so I could listen to more of it. So this book is nonfiction, and it is the story of the group of women that worked in dial painting factories in the 20th century. And in those dial painting factories, they used radium paint. Since radium was newly discovered, we didn't know that it, you know, was poisonous basically and harmful to the human body. And basically the book just tells the story of those women who worked in the factories, and how they were lied to, how they were tricked, how they were basically manipulated into working at these jobs and staying at these jobs despite having horrible health issues. Many of the girls died from the radium poisoning. And yeah, it just tells that story of the women and how they eventually fought for justice as well for the pain that they had endured. And as I said before, this book was just totally captivating. It is written in a way that doesn't make it dry like a regular historical nonfiction book. It is written in a way that lets you see into the characters' lives, and it really personifies the characters. And at the end of the book, there's a little excerpt from the author of the book where she tells about how she, you know, visited the families of the women who worked at these factories and really interviewed them and looked for artifacts and diary entries and all that stuff, which really helped her build the characters in her mind of these real life women. And I think it is a really well written and very well narrated audiobook, and I would highly recommend it, especially if you are at all interested in nonfiction audiobooks or just regular books, or if, you know, if the synopsis that I just gave to you intrigued you, you would probably really enjoy this book. Number 2 on my list is a reread, and this is a series that I first read when I was about 8 years old. So of course it's going to make the list since I reread it this year, and that is going to be Warrior Cats by Erin Hunter, okay? These books, where do I even start, okay? They, obviously since I first read them as a kid, they're very nostalgic for me, of course. Yet again, I listened to these on audio since I've read them before. This is probably my, like, 5th or 6th reread of the first book. So Warriors, if you haven't heard about it, which is crazy, it is about a group of cats who live in the forest, and they basically live in clans. So there's 4 clans, and they hunt their food to survive, they fight over territories, things like that, and let me tell you, okay? So much drama. The drama enclosed in these 2 covers, crazy. Like, there's a reason I'm reading it again as a 22-year-old adult woman. The drama is there. If you like drama and you are not embarrassed by reading a book about a bunch of cats in the forest that can talk to each other, I would recommend it. So, even if you're an adult like me. Third book on my list is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alir Sayens. I really didn't know what I was getting into. Like, I had no idea what it was about. I just knew, you know, I had read the synopsis on Goodreads, and I found it interesting. And this year I have been trying to read more young adult books, partially to do with my job. So I was like, you know what, why not? It's a popular book. It's very highly rated. It's a 4.3 on Goodreads. So I was like, why not? Let's give it a go. So this book is about a boy named Aristotle. He goes by Ari, and he basically is having a really tough time being a teen. I believe he starts out maybe 14 or 15 in this book, and he clearly is having a difficult time. He doesn't feel very connected to his family. He doesn't really have friends. He doesn't feel very sure of himself. He hesitates with a lot of things. He's scared of a lot of things. And he meets this boy named Dante. So Dante is basically the complete opposite of Ari. He's sure of himself. He is witty. He's quick with his words. He loves his family. All that stuff. He talks to people. He's very outgoing. And basically they meet, they become really good friends, and the rest is history. Dante really helps Ari, like, break down his walls that he's been putting up, and he helps him see the beauty of life, pretty much, and he helps him, you know, be more outgoing and more sure of himself, and really grow into a man. A big theme of the book is Ari's struggle with what is being a man, what is being a boy, what is growing up, you know, that type of stuff. The reason I enjoy this book so much is because it kind of brought me back to that time when I was a teenager and I was very unsure of everything. I think that the author of this book really did a good job kind of portraying that. The writing is very, I don't want to say flowery, but you can tell that the author thinks a lot about the word choice. It is very beautiful writing. It definitely gives, like, 2012 YA book, which that was when it was published, which is fine. I'm not super picky about that. I really liked it. If you enjoy LGBTQ stories, things like that, coming of age, definitely would recommend that book. And also, if you do read the audiobook, it is narrated by Lin-Manuel Miranda, which was a little bit of a jump scare for me, but he was a good narrator, so no complaints, really. Okay, number 4 on my list is a middle grade book, which was very surprising to me. I didn't expect to like this book so much, but I really did enjoy it. Oh, girl, what are you doing? That book is The Eyes in the Impossible by Dave Eggers. I had not previously heard of this book before I was looking for a book to read for class. And the reason I read this middle grade for class is because I am in a librarian program. So, The Eyes in the Impossible is a middle grade book, as I mentioned. And in the book, we follow the main character, whose name is Johannes, and he's a dog. So, Johannes narrates the story from his point of view, and basically, he is a stray dog who lives in a park. He is friends with the other animals. He can communicate with them, the birds, the raccoons, the squirrels, all that good stuff. And then also in the park, there are 3 bison who live there. And the bison are known as, like, the wisest members of the park. So the bison live there, but they're in an enclosed habitat. Johannes serves as the eyes of the park, so his job is to travel around the park. He always brags about how fast he is. He is faster than the speed of light, okay? I believe him. His job is to basically go around the park and observe and watch how, you know, if there's any big events that happen. Of course, people visit this park every day, so there's a lot to do with that, all the humans there. And his job is to take that information and report back to the bison, who, again, are the wisest members of the park. So they basically, like, rule over it, in a sense. Now, the reason this book was given a 5 stars by me is because it is so unique. It was such a fun read. I don't remember it being that long, but it was just so incredibly fun. The writing is so different. It's just so different. It's whimsical. It is, you know, with Johannes as the narrator, we get this unreliable narrator type thing, which I really enjoy that type of writing personally. The story is really about change and how to cope with changes. It's very good. To get into more like plot information, what happens is Johannes one day saves a human child from drowning in the pond in the park, and basically that gets him a bunch of attention. So all these humans are trying to know, you know, who does this dog belong to? Why is he here? Let's try to catch him, all that stuff. So he's basically forced into hiding because he wants to stay a free dog. He doesn't want to be captured. He doesn't want to be owned. And that really catapults the story and the multiple plots that it has. It's not too complicated because it is a middle grade, but I really enjoyed it. I think it was the perfect amount of complication, in my opinion. So yeah, if you're looking for like a fun, unique read and you don't mind animal narrators, I would definitely recommend that one. Alright, number 5 on my list, and the bestest book of 2024 is Looking for Alaska by John Green. It was my 3rd time rereading this book, and I reread it when I was on a cruise. So I got the Kindle version, and I just, like, laid in the sun all day and read it, like, over the course of a couple, like, 2 or 3 days. And it was the best time of my life. Did the cruise probably influence my experience rereading this book? Yes. Do I care? No. Is it still the best book of 2024 in my mind? Yes. I actually struggled with picking this one over The Eyes in the Impossible just because it is a reread and I feel like that's like low-key cheating. But whatever. If I think it's the best, it's gonna be the best. I really enjoy rereading books because I get to have a different perspective from the last time I read it, especially because the last time I read this book, I was probably a teenager. And as you can see, I have all these sticky notes, which I haven't looked at because I did read the Kindle version this year, but I don't know, I just love going through an old book that I loved and seeing things that, you know, passages I've underlined, passages I've sticky noted, passages I've highlighted. And I feel like it really gives me a window into where my mind was at that time, you know? And I think it's very interesting to see that. Now, because I read the Kindle version, I did not get that experience, but I still got the experience of rereading an old favorite as an adult. Because this book is about teenagers, if you don't know what it's about, it is about this kid named Miles Halter. He basically, for high school, he moves to a boarding school in Alabama. And it really is just such a teenager-y book. I don't know how else to describe it. It's so of its time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, not that I was very conscious in 2005. I mean, I was alive, but I was not, you know, I don't have any memories from that time. I think that this book just has so much to say about happiness and the future and friendship. Miles moves to this boarding school in search of a great perhaps, which is a quote from a poet. And he believes that at this boarding school, he will find his great perhaps, whatever that may be. The uncertainty of it all is really what gives this book life. Like, Miles being a character who is very uncertain with where his life is gonna go, he kind of just goes with the flow. He doesn't make waves, he doesn't, like, make things happen, he doesn't do too much. And you can really see his character start to blossom in this book, where he gets the confidence to, you know, do things for himself and make things happen. Alaska is this character who's very, like, manic pixie dream girl type character. I don't mind a manic pixie dream girl. I know people hate it. It's not a trope that most people like, but I think it's fun. I think it's done well in this book. Obviously, there's criticism. Obviously, you know, it's not the best, like, it's not like a feminist work of art, you know what I'm saying? It's a good story. It really is. And it makes me feel stuff, you know? I could definitely see myself rereading this again, like, over and over and over throughout my life. Okay, well, I hope that wasn't too scrappy of a video. I feel like I was kind of all over the place. Maybe you know and understand more about me as a reader now. Maybe you will pick up one of those books. Who knows? I feel like it's a very eclectic mix. There's something in there for everybody, you know? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We're gonna hope that for the rest of the year we get maybe another 5-star. Who knows? And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!